MPs called for a clean-up to restore the battered image and dignity of the party and rid it of those who are just in for the largesse. He said the leadership cannot brush things under the carpet and preside over turmoil.
I wrote that letter signed by me to my colleagues, members of parliament and the leadership, saying that when the opportunity comes, and by the opportunity I mean when the nominations are open, I have the intention of contesting for the leadership or the flag bearership. The decision to become a leader of your party or to become a president of your country is not a decision that is taken lightly. So you don't just wake up one morning and make an announcement that you are going to run for president or going to run for flag bearership, at least not for me. Why now? Because you don't just get up and say you want to run for president. It's something you need to really think through it properly, do some soul searching, some introspection. And that is what I've done in the last year. It's not an interest that I just cultivated just yesterday or the day before. But it's an interest that has been cultivated at least over the last 1 year. But I had to think through it properly, do a proper retrospection as to why we lost the election, and be able to ask questions as to what I think I can do differently for our party in terms of rebuilding the party, repositioning it, and placing the party in a way that will make it win the next election.
A lot of ambitious plans there from Mr. Ricketts-Hagan, but what are his chances in the race for NDC flag bearer? Let us ask political sciences Dr. Evans Agri-Darko, who has joined us. Doctor, good morning. Thanks for joining us. What do you think are the chances of Mr. Ricketts-Hagan?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, we're asking our political parties to exhibit democratic credentials, internal democratic credentials. The argument is that when they have the opportunity, would expect that they will transfer these credentials onto the larger political system, so you and I can benefit. And so the primaries are up for grabs. We have a number of them who have declared their intentions. Joshua Labi, of course, Bill Gabra, Mr. Mensah, Alban Sumana, Babin, among others. And now I think the president himself, the former president himself, has indicated his readiness or his willingness to contest. And then this Hagan, who has also decided to join the fray, all the better. I believe that in the interim, there will be pushing and shoving. People will be throwing issues out there and indicating why they think that they have what it takes: practical intelligence, the exposure, perhaps the education, the experience, among others, to be able to really lead, such a phenomenal political party. But it's too early in the day for us to know who really will win.
Okay.
For me, if the president, the former president, decides contest, he will be a top dog, and all others will be underdogs.
So he's the one to beat.
Come again?
He's the one to beat. Former President Mahama is the one to beat.
Precisely, he will be the one to beat. I haven't been in the high state, really as a president of the Republic for 4 years, having served as a vice president for 4 years, and then of course even served as president even on a part of the former president John Fifi Atamels. He has built enough political capital within the political party. Of course, when you have the patronage of power to distribute, it gives you unfettered advantage. And that is why I think that he has a larger constituency. And so if he decides to contest, he will trump all the other actors.
But
my considered view, yes.
Yeah, so the arguments that has been raised is that this is a man who has failed in his bid to lead the party successfully in an election, just ended the election, the worst performance by the NDC in the Fourth Republic. Why would the party go back for him?
It's interesting. People are likely to rally behind somebody who, over the years or in the past, managed to give them good food on their table. You and I, whether we like it or not, we are utility maximizers. And that is why I'm saying that he will trump others. Of course, if you look at the Kosibuki's report, a number of issues came up and a number of causal variables have been identified for the defeat of the NDC. It depends on how the key stakeholders within the party, I'm talking about those who are going to constitute the electoral college to vote for the presidential, candidate, the weight they put on all those variables, the causal factors. Some have argued that insolence, arrogance, among others, a incipient character of intolerance, high level of corruption, political corruption, bureaucratic corruption, among others, the fact that some actors decided not to even use resources that have been, seriously allocated for the campaign process, among others. All these variables have been thrown out there and contributing towards the defeat of the NDC.
So,
and of course, you cannot. Leadership is also fundamental. Therefore, the former president could not or cannot absolve himself from blame and so on. So, it depends on the weight that these actors will put on these variables that I've alluded to. Yes.
Seeing as your verdict is that Mr. Mahama is the man to beat, does that rule out the chances of someone like Ricketts-Hagan?
You see, sometimes it's in politics. It's not always that you have the desire to win, even though that would be the ultimate. Some people will go into a contest, and in the process, you put yourself, even if you do not win, you put yourself very close to the center of decision making. And when it comes to allocation of resources, when it comes to allocation of positions, trust me, you will never be disregarded, depending on how you conducted yourself during the campaign process. Literally, you become a prime mover within the political party, and therefore you are considered a stalwart, and therefore political power or power distribution will certainly inure to your advantage.
So maybe he's setting himself up as an appointee in the future, possibly even a running mate.
You need to really position yourself. You need to be able to do the calculation that you need to do.
Right.
But it's also important that you make yourself a viable candidate for possible appointment. Going into the future. I believe that is one of the strategies some of these key actors will want to adopt. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Evans Agri-Darko.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity.
He is a political scientist and a lecturer.